Welcome to Legacy Unscripted, the podcast where sports and business collide. I'm your host, Russ Katzman, and here we'll skip the fluff and get straight to the hustle. From athletes turned entrepreneurs to impact-driven business leaders, we'll dive into the wins, the lessons, and the failures that make legacies worth living. No scripts, no filters, just raw, real conversations to inspire you to stop dreaming about your legacy and to start living it. Now let's get into it. Today we welcome Sudev Rajah, Group CEO for Club Ventures. Sudev, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Russ?
Doing terrific. A little bit of a chilly January morning, but I think we're doing okay. Give me an idea as to who you are, a couple minutes on how you got to where you are and what Club Ventures is.
Sure, absolutely. So I come from India. My name is Sudev Rajah. I come from India. I grew up in a place called Kerala, then Kolkata, and then Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, I did my schooling. That's when I went to do chess. Chess has been a big, huge inspiration and, a method or vehicle for me to do what I did in my life. So I did my academics, got into the job world, and then got into BOA, and I came to the US in 2007. Got my green card, which gave me the license to do business in the US. And there, we started with Club Ventures in 2012. Along the journey, we started a couple of other companies. One is called Business Club. And lately, which became more of my passion project, it's called the Chess Club. Chess Club was born not by, the birth was given not by me, but by my wife. She had this, she was at a stage in her life where she wanted to do something. And, chess was in our blood. I played nationals in India.
Wow.
My kids, my kids play chess. My father-in-law plays chess. My father plays chess. And now my wife played chess. So it was like a natural extension. And then she said, okay, I want to start chess. Then that kind of rang a bell. And I said, okay, let's just do it. And that's how in 2019, we started Chess Club. And there are a couple of other clubs. The Y Club with a K for knowledge, K for connection,
Nice.
K for community. And that's what we are. Everything that we do has a K. Incidentally, my wife's last name also starts with a K for Kolangara.
Yeah.
So that's all ties in together.
Yep. Very good. I love it. So give me an idea then on Chess Club. I know when you and I spoke previously, it's the social aspect of chess that you really love. Give me an idea how chess brings an impact in the lives of the people that are part of it.
So the way I look at Chess Club is a purpose-driven business. And when I say purpose-driven, I think it's more like my calling, because I'm able to, not just me, our entire team is able to help build a very strategic thinkers of the future. So chess has helped me personally, has helped me grow from a naive individual to a much more strategic, and it has helped me in my business in many, many, many ways. So it has, and I'm sure it's going to help everybody else who plays chess and who's able to learn chess the right way. So chess actually helps in critical thinking, forward thinking, to take a few steps ahead the game, to be tactical, to be strategic, and to kind of immerse yourself, to improve your focus, energy, memory, attention, all of those things, chess brings to the table. So I think it's an art, science, and a sport.
I love it. So talk to me then about Chess Club as a business. What were some of the challenges you had? And ironically, how did you use some of the chess principles to make that happen?
Oh, interesting question. So when we started off in 2019, it was just a spark of an idea. My wife, she just spread it around in her circle, in a WhatsApp group. Hey, I want to start a chess club. Anyone interested? Come join us. So the first 2-3 weeks saw a plethora of people coming into our neighborhood, parking their cars next to our house and we became the nuisance. Now, that was the first challenge. How do we overcome that? So first thing is we had to say no to business. We had to say, stop, let's just stabilize and let's see what we can do. So we stopped recruitment for some time, and then we focused more on, stabilizing ourselves, getting a place for us. That's how we found our first center in Fort Mill. And then when Fort Mill happened, it again grew fast. We grew to about 100 students in about less than 4 to 5 months' time. It's like Fort Mill, to get about 100 students is a big thing, because Fort Mill is not that big a city. It's a small city, small town. So, but we did grow. And in 2020, around February, when we grew to about 100 students, that's when everybody knows what happened, COVID. So there was another challenge. Now the question is, first getting coaches and tutors in and around Fort Mill. The next challenge was how to get people online and how to draw customers online. We lost 75% of our students within 2 weeks' time because of COVID. But the flip side was, because I had this background in, digital marketing and business development and online marketing, I was able to quickly turn around an offline business into an online business. And March 2020, we launched our online platform. We launched our online business model. And along the way, we grew. And by December 2020, we became the world's #1 online live chess academy. We transformed an adversity, a pandemic, into an opportunity. And that was possible it was only because of the lessons that I've learned while I played chess. And in chess, one of the things that you have to think on your feet. You have to be strategic, but you have to be tactical also. So every time you see a situation, I'm in a trap. What do I do? What are the next steps? You have to focus. You have to deeply focus into those 5-6 moves that can actually help you get out of the situation, and then get your act together, get the team together, get all your forces, get all your soldiers, horses, the knights, the bishops, everyone together to make sure you're driving in the direction where you want the game to go. And that's what we did during pandemic, actually at the beginning of the pandemic and during pandemic. And here we are in 2025. We are about 16 centers worldwide, present online. We are, almost a force to reckon with in the chess world. So yeah, that's one of the major lessons. Then I would also take a little bit of time to explain, once the online kind of started waning off, the parents didn't want the screen time affecting the kids. So that was another challenge, Hey, during online, they want them to be on screen. But during COVID, they wanted to be on screen. After a year being on screen, they don't want them to be on screen any longer because they were missing the social aspect. So how do you transition from offline to online, then online to offline?
Yeah.
So that was another challenge. So we catered to that as well. We foresaw that this is going to happen, and we started setting up branches. And I think we are one of the few companies in the world who've got about more than 15, 16 centers purely teaching chess.
Yeah.
So that's where
I think one of the key things, and there's some great stuff in there. I think one of the key things you mentioned in there was that ability to think both strategically and to think tactically, right? There's such a small percentage of the population that truly can think strategically and tactically. And I think from an entrepreneur standpoint, there's some self-awareness there that any entrepreneur needs to understand. Am I more of a strategic thinker or a tactical thinker? And
or both.
Do I have the luxury of being both? And if I don't, who can I surround myself with that can pick up the slack on the other side?
Absolutely. And that's where I think a lot of mentorship comes in.
Yeah.
As you grow as a chess player, one of the things that you learn is to, should I learn everything by myself, or should I seek for help who can actually help me get to the next level? So that's another thing that I learned, that I'm not the master of everything. I may know a little bit of everything, but I'm not the master. I'm a master of 1 or 2 things that I do really good, but I need help to get to the next level. That's where the coaching comes in.
Yep.
That's where the mentorship comes in. And, even the best of the best players, we have the latest, the youngest grandmaster in the world today, Gukesh, who just got crowned as a grandmaster. Even he has got about 5 coaches, everyone teaching him one specific aspect of the game, including learning, tuning your mental health, making sure that you are tuned to handle pressure at the right time. And that really showed up in his final match against Ding Liren, where he actually held on to his nerves to win the title. Youngest grandmaster. It's amazing.
How old is he?
18 years. I think he just turned 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, I think the thing you bring up is something that I touch base with many of my clients or even prospects for clients. I tell them, look, have both a mentor and a coach. Right?
Yes.
Mentor should be that person that's been where you want to be, that's maybe out there doing it right now, and you look to them and you say, what are they doing that I want to do? What are they doing that I may do a little bit differently, et cetera? But then you need that coach to help you personally along the way to say, where are my flaws? Where do I need to improve? What's that outside perspective that can teach me something I don't see in myself? Right. So I think that's terrific. Him having multiple coaches, all taking different aspects. I always equate it to a car accident or something that happens at an intersection. Right? You've got 4 different points of view. Somebody standing on each corner has a different view of what happened. Right. Same thing can happen with a coach teaching you from the outside. He sees something that you're not seeing in the middle of that game. And whether it's a tell coming from the other individual on what they're kind of thinking, or if it's just you, something you're giving away and making certain moves or something, I think that's terrific that he's got those kind of coaches for him.
Yep, absolutely. And that's how most grandmasters, especially when they're playing at the highest level, they do need coaches from trying to help them in the various aspects of the game.
Yeah.
And so as it is in life,
Yep.
When you're running a business, you have HR issues, you have operational issues, you have marketing issues. You can't be doing everything. So you need help everywhere.
I always tell people that the functional side of business is not hard. It's the people that make it hard. Right? It's
Exactly.
the employees, it's the vendors, it's the partners and the executive teams and all of those individuals that make it a little bit more difficult.
That's correct. Absolutely correct.
Terrific. So you're expanding. You mentioned the 16 centers worldwide. Now, give me a little bit about the business structure on how you manage that and how you determined where those centers were going to go and why those were strategically important for you.
Sure. So we've taken a very holistic approach to this. We didn't want to start wherever we found opportunity. We said, okay, let's just focus on 2 countries, which is India and the US.
Okay.
The 2 biggest growing market for chess. In the US, we have 3 centers, one in Fort Mill, the regional headquarters. That's where we started. And then along the way after COVID, we started in a place called Ballantyne. And then we're starting something in Concord, which is again in Charlotte. The reason why we chose Charlotte is because we want to showcase Charlotte as the pilot project.
Okay.
And then do everything that we can do to make it right here is what we experiment. We want to experiment that here before we actually go out to the world and start expanding. Now, in the US, we wanted to get into franchising, but not started getting into. It's a very regulated market when it comes to franchising in the US. So we got the FDD approved, but we are only ready to go expand in the US market only starting 2025. Prior to that, whatever we did, we had to bootstrap it. We had to fund it ourselves. That's how we would grow here. Whereas in India, it's a non-regulated market. Now, from a strategic perspective, what we said is, okay, we are moving from online to in-person. Online still stays there, but we were moving to in-person coaching. Where can I have a center where I can get my team already the team that is supporting us can continue to support in the in-person center as well. So we found that our one of the main person who was part of this, Sahana, so she lived in a city called Bangalore, and within the Bangalore where she was living, right next to our apartment complex, there were a few commercial buildings, which when we saw that, we loved it. We took it. It was an instant decision. And then we started, okay, we're moving there. We just closed the deal within like 10 minutes or something. And we said, okay, we are going to set up our first center there. We ran the center for about a year and a half. And then we took our second center in a city called Hyderabad. Why Hyderabad? Because Hyderabad, like Bangalore, is cosmopolitan. Bangalore has got a lot of IT engineers. Like if you know, Bangalore is like the Silicon Valley of India, and Hyderabad is also similar. It's like the high-tech city of India.
Yeah.
So between Hyderabad and Bangalore, you have that. There are some criteria about whether the per capita income and whether they will have that kind of disposable income to pay for the fees that we charge them, because we brought in premium education. So a lot of the factors were important: density of population, the city, the expendable income, how much can you spend on child's education, whether there were family values, whether they focused on the education of the kids, the overall, the demography of the people there. All of those mattered when we picked the first center. The second center that we picked in Hyderabad, it's the same thing. Actually 2 or 3 of our team members were living there. So it was a natural extension for me to ask them, hey, can you manage this center? So I was not paying them. I'm not hiring new people. I'm giving them more responsibilities, of course, paying them more, and take on more responsibilities. It's like a hybrid. They were supporting online coaching in the evenings, and then they were also doing the in-person coaching during the daytime and like for the school. So once that got off to a stabilized mode, we said, okay, it's time to implement our franchising concept. Now, in the US, while we set up all these things, while we were working through the FDD, we leveraged the knowledge that we gained in the US to actually implement them practically in India.
Okay.
So then we started on a war path, saying, hey, we got to have about 10 centers in 2024. So we started with that mode, and we got our first franchisee in 2024, April 15th. And by May 15th, that franchisee became profitable within a month.
Wow.
Because, when I say profitable, they broke even, their operational expenses were met. It's not that the entire investment has been returned, right? So the return on investment, that'll come about year and a half into the game. So we got that success led to other franchisees.
Yep.
And then their success led to further more franchisees. So it was like a viral thing going on. Hey, these guys are doing, let me just start. And then we started focusing more on Bangalore. So in Bangalore alone, we have about 8 of those 12 or 13 franchisees that we have. And then people started seeing in Bangalore, they started applying for in other cities. So we started in 4 other cities in India. But the concept is the same. The curriculum is the same. The look and feel is the same. The process is the same. The coach's criteria is the same. Everything is the same. Everything is standardized. And then we were able to replicate a start of center just within, like, if you came to me with an idea, say, hey, I want to start a center in such and such place, from that initial conversation till from the time you sign the paper till the time we execute, we were able to knock it down in like 30 days time.
Wow.
So we brought that whole thing to a science. Again, all of these lessons from chess, project management, and all of that thing that we've learned along the way. So, be meticulous in your planning. So as Elon Musk says, plan for 10 years, get it done in 1 year.
Yep.
So that's been our motto, and that's how we were able to do all of these 12 centers in India without any problem in the last 1 year. And this year, we're already closing in on 3 more centers within January itself. So it's growing. It's great. And now to answer your other question, how am I managing this? It's all great team, You cannot build a company, you cannot build a corporation, you cannot build an enterprise, an empire without a team. So for me, my team is my biggest strength. And while I take care of the things in the US, I have people to take care of in India, and they know as much as I know, or they know better than I know in the local market.
Yep.
So yeah, so you leverage other people's strength, and play to your strength.
I like that. Yeah, it's interesting, and I'd be curious to see how those strengths have changed. And I say this because you said it yourself, right? We started with the first franchise, and now we're to the point of where we can do this in less than 30 days. Well, that didn't
Yeah.
happen with the snap of a finger, right? That happens over time. You kind of evolve as an organization. And the interesting part about this conversation is that you're doing it from the franchisor standpoint. Or no,
Yes.
franchisor. And it's not too often you hear people talk about franchisees, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Oh, I ran into the wrong one, they charged too many fees, they did this kind of stuff, or they gave me processes that didn't work, etc. But as a franchisor, taking that opportunity to continually improve those processes and make it a little bit better for each one of the franchisees that comes to you is intriguing. So talk to me about the top 2 or 3 things that you had to really get knee deep in order to get down to 30 days. What were the biggest obstacles to doing so?
So first thing is, get your supply chain in order. So getting the supply chain in order was very, very important, because if you have to start a center in India after you sign the lease, you have to make sure that the center looks exactly the same in every center. So you have to get the carpets, you have to get the air conditioning, you have to get the brand walls, you have to get the signage,
Sure.
you have to get the reception, the glasses, all the signage. So all those things, we identified the vendors, those who will supply us regularly and frequently, and at a phone call away, right? It's not that I have to send them a proposal, you vet it, you plan it, you have a sign of approval. We cut out the bureaucracy in between. We just said, hey, here's your deal. You have next 10 franchisees lined up. We want you to execute it. Your goal is this, this, and this. And then we had a project plan. The project plan, we use a tool called Monday.com very extensively.
Yep.
And we have it all narrowed down to the T as to what is exactly needed, when is it needed, where is it sourced from, and who's responsible for it, and when exactly it needs to be delivered. All of those things are like, it's like, I would say, when you were in an automobile assembly line, everything has to fall in place for the car to come out.
Yep.
Exactly the same thing, except that it is a lot of people involved, physical manual labor involved, a lot of moving parts, but everything has to be in assembly line production to make that happen. So that is one. Second thing is, that was one challenge that we had. The second challenge is, when we wrote the curriculum, when we did the curriculum, these are all, started by, chess. My wife wrote the curriculum first, but then we got that curated by grandmasters. Even that, they had some minor errors and things like that. We fixed them along the way. There were assessments, some of those assessments that kids were taking, there were some grammatical errors, there were typo errors, and this.
Yeah.
So when franchisees would see that, we actually empowered the franchisees, and we rewarded them to, hey, if you find mistakes in what we have done, we will forego, say, 15 days worth of royalty, or we challenge them to come up with issues that that they're facing, because so that the next crop of franchisees who come on board, they have a flawless process and flawless curriculum and things like that. So that is another thing that we did. The third thing that we did was, when we started off, let's say if you're starting a franchise, we would create this buzz in the market, that this chess club is coming here. It's an international organization. This. We had a method of gaining traction. So we would have a grand opening. We would have followed by a tournament. and then only we'll start recruiting.
Mm.
And then that recruitment had an inaugural offer. And that inaugural offer, people bought in. So within like 15, 20 days, most of the centers got to about 30 to 40 kids, which actually helped them break even. And after that, it's once you get your critical mass in, then it's a smoother ride. Then you're not too much worried about, hey, am I going to put in more money into this from an operational standpoint? Instead, you focus more on how can I get this, scale it up, and how can I have more franchise. Now, the model has evolved so much that some of the franchises are taking the second centers, third centers, make it work. So it's becoming, that's how it is growing.
Well, if the break even, at least for a specific center, and the monthly break even is getting to, in a month you're making yourself profitable. Within a year you've got your initial expense paid off, or a year and a half, or whatever it turns out to be. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer that as you get momentum with that after that first year, grab another center, grab another 2-3 centers.
Exactly.
I like it.
So one of the things that one of the beautiful thing about this model is that most of the curriculum, most of the things that you teach are available online. Available as in we can make it online. While your actual investment, there is not much of an investment. There's not much of a working capital required, other than paying the salaries and the admin cost, right, for the coaches.
Yep.
Because chess boards, they're not going to die, they're not going to perish. The chess tables are going to be staying there forever. So there's not too much of inventory management. So it's a very easy business to start with.
Yep.
A lot of people don't realize it. The key is getting the coaches and making sure you're doing it the right way from day one.
No, and I agree. And I think you mentioned just a minute ago about the critical mass. I think getting them as quickly as possible through that recruitment phase to get that critical mass in. I know Alex Hormozi used to talk about this with Gym Launch, right? He'd go in and help people get to that. It's getting to that critical mass for the launch of this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a podcast. Doesn't matter if it's a franchise. Doesn't matter if it's a new offering, a new coaching program, a new product that's brought to market. Getting to that critical mass to where the market has accepted it. Your target, which specific as they may be, has gotten together and said, yes, we accept this as a product and we're going to put money for it.
Absolutely, 100%.
I like it. Let's take a step back, and then I want to get back to some of your discussion of Business Club, because I want to give us enough time to get into that as well. One of the things you talked about earlier relative to Chess Club was your target market. And you gave several demographics and some of those kind of things around it. But they were things around it, they weren't the look and feel of the individual. They were physical or financial or geographic demographics that played into it. I think sometimes when individuals, entrepreneurs per se, that go out and search for a target market, they get very broad. I want to work with a certain gender between the ages of 24 and 42 that, look like this, and they shop here, and they have these kinds of friends, et cetera, et cetera. And they forget some of those other demographics, right? What's my income level? Where do I spend my hobby time? What do my kids do in school? Some of those kind of things. How did you evolve that target market? Where did you kind of begin, and how did you get to quickly decide, no, these are the individuals that we need to bring into this?
So, as I said before, my wife is the one who started this club. Mm-hmm. She's not a grandmaster, nor am I. So we know that heart of heart, we are not the right fit for advanced level players.
Sure.
So we focused on beginner levels, and that's your biggest target market. Now, beginner level, what are their ages? 5 years to 15 years. Now, the thing is, the 5 years to 15 years, if you're targeting, typically the kids who tend to do well in academics are the ones who tend to do well in chess as well. So when you are looking for academics, we are looking for good school districts. So where can I get good school districts? Which are the school districts that I should target? And typically when you have found those good school districts, you will find that the per capita income within that area where those school districts are are pretty, above average.
Yep.
So those are all related, and that's how we come to know it's the same logic that's applicable across the US, across India. In India, there are cities that they may not be able to afford. So where we may have to reduce the prices, or we get into an area where we can actually sell at our prices. In Bangalore, for example, everybody's in IT, and IT brings in a lot of money. So we know that Bangalore is going to be hugely successful. So is Hyderabad, so is Pune, so is Mumbai, so is Delhi. But the real estate costs in Delhi, Mumbai are through the roof. So where can we strike the right balance? So we have to not just look at the demography, but also our affordability. As I said before, it was a bootstrapped company. Nobody has funded us yet.
Right.
So we'll get that thing going as well. So, but because it's bootstrapped, we had to be very conscious of, where our money is going in, whether we can have good return on investment, or break even faster than we would, we would like it to. So that's how we went about doing it. We did a lot of research. Even today, when we find a location, we do a lot of research before we get into that location.
So I find it intriguing. So because it's such a specific target market that you're going after, what are some of the big mistakes that your first franchisees have made? Have they tried to go against that target market? Have they tried to break some of your processes? Where have they tried to stray and made the mistake and had to go back?
Incidentally, the first two franchises did pretty well. The third one did take some time. So I would talk about the third one. The third one actually ended up being in a commercially heavy zone.
Okay.
So because of which, we typically say, hey, let's just go and put it in a residential area. So a commercial building in a residential area is the most ideal. But they ended up going in a commercial place, which actually kind of dissuaded some of the people who are supposed to be coming there. If it is a residential area, if it's amongst apartment complexes and things like that, probably we would have attained break even much earlier. So this particular franchisee took about 4 months to break even, whereas the other ones took about a month and a half to break even. So that was the main thing. Other than that, also I think starting in a tier 2 city is probably not a great idea, especially if you're starting off. A tier 1 city is important, but again, tier 1 you'll have to find out the right commercial building in a residential area.
Gotcha.
So,
all right, terrific. No, I love to see it, and my son, he's 19 now, and we used to play chess all the time. He loved it. I think it was the intellectual aspect. You talk about those kids with academic.
yeah.
I think it's truly a thinking person's game. To think beyond just that first move. I think some of the life skills that they learn out of playing chess are terrific.
It's amazing. I mean, I have seen my kids grow into, adults from a mental perspective, developing that patience, developing that focus, attention. It has helped them so much in their academics as well. Both my kids are Eagle Scouts, and they are Eagle Scouts partly because were into chess, which helped them. Okay, chess, you have to sit through the game, through the end of the game. You don't quit until the last move, until you're checkmate. So you don't resign. You have patience. You fight it out. You fight the battle out till the very last breath. So it's like a battle, but it's the battle of the mind.
I agree. Now, I think that's a great place to kind of transition then from Chess Club to Business Club. So talk to me about Business Club with a K that you're pushing forward now, and where you're trying to go with that.
So Business Club with a K, again, K for knowledge, K for connections, K for community. That's what we are all about. We're trying to create a business in a box concept where, let's say, you come with an idea, and then here you have coaches, mentors, and actually help you fine tune that idea and then make it a product or a service that is capable of getting into the market. Once you identify what product or service that you want to do, you have to price it out. You have to make sure that, is that product or service any good that can make me money? So that will help you fine tune that. Once you've done that, we will give you a platform to kind of help you generate leads. We also give you kind of the digital marketing services to go along with it, which low cost digital marketing, low cost, high impact digital marketing services that we will give you, which actually will help you to scale your business from one level to the other. And that's what Business Club is all about. I say the program is to accelerate your business growth with tailored mentorship, resources, and a vibrant network. So we give you a lot of resources, project management tools, the productivity tools, knowledge base. Then we want you to be empowered to take all the decisions for your business, so that you can take it to the next level. So we are a group of people. We have leadership team, and then we have the advisory team, and then we have members who join our team, who join Business Club. We meet together every Tuesday. We call it the think tank. It's like a mastermind session. And then we also have webinars, workshops, a bunch of online activities that we intend to do. We have a directory. You go to businessclub.net, you will see the directory listing right there. So members are given prominence. The membership benefits come with a lot of, membership comes with a lot of benefits in terms of physical, tangible benefits that they can actually use right away to get started, including getting a CRM to start with. So there are a lot of things that once you go to businessclub.com, businessclub with a K, .com, you will see all of those things listed there.
I love it. And so give me an idea of who you like to have in that program. Obviously, it's an accelerator program. You're not going to take just anybody. Talk to me about where the business has to be before they can succeed with you in that problem.
So we are targeting freelancers, micro and small business. When I say freelancers, it's mostly solopreneurs.
Sure.
Micro business would be anyone between 1 to 5 employees. And then the small business to us is about, say, 6 to 25 employees, or not more. So that's our target market. And we have had businesses in all these ranges which come and join us. We treat Business Club the same way we treat Chess Club. Chess Club beginners come to learn chess, and then they become intermediate player, then they become advanced player. Same thing as in Business Club. They come as a beginner, or you may know already a business, you may be doing business, but you may not have all the wherewithal to scale it to the next level. So you come to Business Club to either start, learn, and scale, or directly scale. So either way, we are ready to help you grow.
I love it. So talk to me about some of the challenges you've had with that now. And how old is Business Club, first of all?
So Business Club, the original concept started in 2014.
Oh, wow.
That was a part-time concept where I was working for Bank of America, and I said, okay, I need to do something for the small business community. I was doing digital marketing, so I needed to get leads. So what do I do to get leads? So instead of me going to each networking organization, I created my own networking. I had people come to me and then give me business. Right? No better than that, right? So that's how it started. It started with one branch, but then very soon, within 6 to 8 months, we had about 15 business clubs running in Charlotte with different club presidents leading that. Everything was free. So that's how it started. So at some point in time, we had about 2,000 businesses going in and out of business at any given point in time in a month. That's how popular it had become. And along the way, things changed. I got serious a little bit with my employment. I was working for Bank of America, which I don't any longer. So until 2019, Business Club, we kind of paused it. From 2016 to 2019, we kind of made it from 15 to 10 to 5 to 6, 5 to 2 to 1, and then nothing. And then COVID happened, right?
Sure.
And then we restarted Business Club 2.0 started in 2023, when we opened our center in Ballantyne. Sometime in October, one of my business partners said, "Hey, I think it's time to get started again." And because he saw the success that we did with Chess Club, let's pick up some of these lessons and implement in Business Club. And that's how we started. The first year, 2024, 23, 24, 23 September is we started till 24. It was all about re-engaging our business club members, teaching them some business critical aspects of the business. Again, no membership charge. Even if we had, I think for a limited time, had a small membership charge. But then it was more of trying to get them come together and discuss business problems and see if there is an appetite for something like this. Once we saw that there's an appetite, and we ran it for a year, we said, okay, let's just take this to the next level. Sometime in November, we coined this term. It's not that we coined it, it's out there. I think we're best positioned to be a growth accelerator rather than just a pure networking company. So in Charlotte or most of the places, you will find there are networking companies, there are referral companies like BNI, then there are social media marketers, then there are other, within social media, there are specific like niche-based marketers, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn and things like that. And then there are web developers, then there are mentors, there are coaches, there are business coaches. All of those entities are existing, but they're existing side by side, but not as one coherent unit.
Sure.
So we found that gap and we said, okay, we can make a difference. And imagine our vision is this. If I can help 100 businesses succeed in, say, Ballantyne, and if I'm able to replicate that in, say, Concord and Fort Mill and a bunch of other places in Charlotte, then it's a matter of time where I pick up the whole concept and use that business in a box module and put it in Chicago, Florida, a bunch of places all over the world. And that's how we're trying to do, in a hypothetical scenario. If everything goes well, I would love to see Business Club every part of the world, every nook and corner of the world, with one village of people trying to serve all the Business Club, clients and customers, doing different things. Podcast, for example,
Sure.
There's so much demand and it's growing. How many podcasters can actually afford to have a video production, post-production guy who's doing all of that? It does cost money. So here we are trying to provide low-cost podcast production companies, actually help these podcasters, like yourself and a bunch of other people who are interested in doing podcasts, to get their name and thing out through the video marketing, YouTube SEO, podcast distribution, and things like that. So there's a whole lot of services that we're coming up with, which are very unique, directly given by Business Club or its sister company, or some of our partners who are aligned with us. So in Business Club, we always say there is no competition, there's only collaboration.
No, I like that. And the thing about it is, and I tell this to people all the time, I said everybody should have a coach. Somebody said to me once, I was talking to a prospective client, and he said, well, I'm in this process. I want to talk to a couple other coaches, et cetera. I said, great, terrific. And I said, you should. I said, the biggest thing about coaching is a relationship, right? You need to believe that I'm going to tell you stuff that's worthwhile, and I need to believe that I'm not just blowing hot air, that you're going to take that and put it to use. And once you find that chemistry, that's a valuable part of that coaching process. And I said, whether it's with me, whether it's with somebody else, whether it's with a program, whether it's a single head coach, whatever it is, find whatever works for you, and utilize that for all it's going to be, because it's hard enough to succeed in small business, much less trying to do it by yourself.
200%.
Right? So I love the fact that you're putting those tools out there, the digital marketing, the podcast, all of those are important to it. What is that business struggling with right now? Is it exposure? Is it size? Is it finding partners? What do you need to help that business succeed right now?
So, we just launched it yesterday. So
just yesterday, like literally yesterday?
January 14th.
Okay, gotcha.
Business Accelerator program was launched yesterday. You will not believe that our entire website was conceptualized, drafted, crafted, developed in the last 15 days.
Oh, wow. That's terrific.
And including that video actually we shot last Sunday. I was not well, so we had to wait till Sunday to shoot, and then we edited the video on Monday before we put it for Tuesday. So if you go to the website, you'll see that. So it's that new. So as far as challenges concerned, I think I foresee initial adoption as a challenge, because it's kind of very difficult to digest that there is such a platform that exists today. And people generally want to see some people succeed before they even put their foot forward.
Sure.
But the good part is we already started recruiting. There's already some good number of people who signed up for our program, and we are off to a rollicking start. Can't wait for the numbers to come in. And one thing good about what we're doing is there is definitely money in it. But the better part is that if money comes in, we will be able to do much, much, much more
Right.
than what we think we could do before. So it's a win-win.
I love it. Good stuff. Sudev, anything else you want to touch base on before we close up the call?
No, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I wish everybody who's listening, wish them a very happy New Year, prosperous, healthy, wealthy, and wise New Year. And keep going at your dreams. There is no better way than to start your entrepreneurship journey. If you could take anything from me, if you learned even one thing from what I've spoken, my life would be made. My day would be made. So thank you for the opportunity.
Terrific. Thank you. And with that, we're going to wrap this episode of Legacy Unscripted. If today's conversation sparked something in you, don't just sit on it. Take action today to build your future. Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who may need to hear it. If you've got a story to share or you want to connect, you know where to find me. Until next time, keep it real, keep it bold, and keep living your legacy.